First segment he'll miss.
1.26 million. What was that money spent?
Ask about
There aren't any kids.
Answer the question.
Wow, good morning, my Patriot friends that follow the America First Warehouse. I think we average about 3,000 viewers on an average. We've done pretty well, although some of our other shows have done even better. I think even Freddie, you might have scaled past us on your show. Well, welcome America to the America First podcast. KD Jr. is not here right now, but he will be on his way. What I do have is my incredible who I love more than anything, saved my ass in the store a couple of months back when I was getting TDS to death. And we also have the great comedian Freddie Rubino. I think if you see Freddie, he must have joined some type of I don't know. What are you in a gang now?
I'm in the USA gang.
Well, sometimes it's not easy to hang around, Joe. You got to be ready in case there's any action. I certainly never want to see my brother get hurt because it would do some damage to me too. But you know, we were talking a minute ago about how they you got 3,000 followers. Don't you think that they're stifling you or something? I would figure we'd have more than that. You know. Well, I believe there's no doubt that the conservative movements in the America First. If you say America First, or if you say Trump, or if you say MAGA, all of these you know, phrases that we love and get us all excited about living in this great country, yeah, they shut it down. There's no doubt about it. But they can't stop us. They're not going to stop me, man. Even though I got beat up pretty good by this kid, this TDS guy, went nuts in the store. He hates Trump with passion. He hates Trump. Why is it that they hate? You know, and I'm going to tell you guys this one. You'll like this one. A few years back before Trump, about 10 years ago, they had the America First Policy Institute, and these gentlemen and this organization has been through the warehouse many times. And at the time, before Trump put his hat in the ring, the America First movement was approved by about 90% of the American citizens in this country. Did you know that? We had the list of America First initiatives, you know, stopping the drugs from coming in, controlling the border, all of these great America First initiatives. Everybody was on board many years ago. But once they attached the name Donald Trump to it, life had changed. And that's what happened, and that's what I see. I have to look over my shoulder. I think, Freddie, you better be careful, buddy, because I know that you love the country a lot, and you're always, look at your new thing, your USA.
Well, I tell you what, I get threats all the time. Being a conservative comic, just this week, I'm going to be, I advertised I'm going to be in Florida, and the guy was like, I hate that you're a MAGA. Don't come to the show, you cheap bastard. Anyway, these people are so deranged that they can't even go to a show of someone making jokes and it triggers them. These people are unhinged maniacs, and you have to look over your shoulder these days. And getting back to what we were saying about the social media, 80% of the people are saying now that they are in favor of a lot of this stuff that's making America great again. But my feed on X, 90% of my feed is pro-illegal immigrant, anti-Jesus. I'm getting flooded. These are all bots. These are all outside agents who hate this country, and they're filling X and social media with anti-American propaganda. I don't believe it for a second. I believe that this country has turned around.
I happen to agree with Freddie on this, because I can only see, and what the Lord allows me to see in my vision. And I believe when I look at the America First Warehouse, the amount of people and the friends that we've made coming through here is just out of control. I mean, let's just talk about the great Mayor Rudy Giuliani. We all know what happened to Mayor Giuliani. He brought up the laptop from hell. He brought up the corruption in Fulton County, and everything that he did, he lost everything. They took his apartment, they took his car, they took his watches. They wanted everything. They went up to his apartment in New York after they stole it from him to take his underwear drawer. Remember that, Johnny?
Crazy. There's no stopping them. And unfortunately, it's you see the videos all the time, with the riots and the screaming and yelling in front of the police officer's face. But then you get to watch them spray him with the spray now because we're not putting up with it anymore. So when you go out there, you can know that the police are behind us. We don't want that riot, and we don't want that peaceful garbage that they put out there. We know better. America First is important, and I'll tell you something, we need some changes quick, and it's going to happen. We just have to be patient with it.
I've said this for years and years. The greatest Italian American in the United States history is Rudy Giuliani. And I could say one more thing. They set him up. They wanted to ruin his life. Even if you give him back all the money, even if you give him a settlement, it still doesn't make up for the misery that they put this man through. But having said all that, we are so lucky that we have someone like this, like a Giuliani and a Trump, as Americans doing the greatest thing for this country. Because just like Trump, they crawled up Giuliani's ass with a microscope, and they found nothing. If he was involved in the slightest corruption, him and Trump, they would have found it. They found nothing. This tells you how great these people are and how shit the Democratic Party is.
Well, I got to tell you, I happen to agree with you about Rudy Giuliani and Donald Trump. They're so good. They're such great people, and we are so lucky to have them. But you want to know, I'm really lucky, and we're really lucky. You know why? Because we have Lisa Azzarelli down in Fort Lauderdale. Oh, you're on West Coast, East Coast, I'm not sure. You can tell us where you are if you want.
East Coast.
If you want, Lisa, I want you to be safe wherever you go. I know you're a MAGA, and I know you got some great news for us, and you got some news that we need to hear. So give us the top stories. Welcome to the show. I miss you so much. How's Florida?
Hey guys, it's great here in Florida, the sunny state of Florida. I know that New York's got some rough weather right now. The volume. Let me see. Hold on. We have to adjust volume. Sorry. I'm not great at this tech stuff, but let's see what I can do. Let me see.
Lisa, how you doing? I can't hear you in the warehouse here. You coming in? You got your mic on mute? I see you moving. I wanted to see a palm tree behind you.
That's what I was hoping for. Can you hear me at all? Wait.
Bring her up a little bit in the house, please.
I think I figured it out. Does that work? Is that better?
That's better.
You're getting better.
All right, there we go.
Let us have the news, will you?
Sorry, guys. Okay, I'm here in the sunny state of Florida, yes, on the East Coast, and we're going to bring you the great news. First of all, let's start with the fact that there is a young man out of Minnesota, okay, Nick Shirley, doing amazing personal investigative work on what is going on with the scams and the federal funds being embezzled through all of these Somali centers using Medicaid as well. It has been uncovered that over 60% of the Somali refugee settlers are on some type of welfare. Let's go back a little bit. Who really brought them in? We know that Bill Clinton started this in the 90s with 100,000 Somali refugees settled here, and then it was bolstered by Obama with another 25,000 settlers, and then again by Biden with another 15,000 settlers. Small numbers from the Bush administration and the Trump administration, but they also did try to assist these Somalis to some extent. However, the larger influx was through the Democrat presidents, and it appears that they immediately began to live off of the federal welfare system, and that has expanded into them now doing anything that can get federal grants, as far as daycare centers, home care centers. And what we're realizing is they're up to about $9 billion in fraudulent claims. We have a video that the guys can bring up later. Can everyone hear me? Was doing okay? No, guys?
I hear you, Lisa. Keep going.
Okay.
We agree with
Okay.
everything you just said.
Little technical difficulties.
Okay. We know that the drug dock is down. President Trump announced on December 29th that the United States has knocked out a loading facility in Venezuela. So they've gone past just knocking out the boats and moved into completely destroying the dock in Venezuela, where they seem to be importing the drugs from. So that's awesome. Let's talk for a second. This is a news break the guys are going to come back to later. These are just the topics that our audience needs to know about. One of them is that the Washington Post decided they wanted to cancel Christmas. Well, how? They wrote a whole article on December 26th, angry that the Trump administration sent out Christmas wishes, acknowledging that it's the birth of Jesus Christ. Oddly enough, this did not make one of the writers at WAPO happy, because in the past, the other administrations only stuck to Santa Claus and reindeer. And so that was neutral and not secular. And now, because they mentioned that Christmas is actually the birth of Jesus Christ, they wrote a whole article slamming the White House. Okay, it's crazy in light of the fact that there's been tremendous persecution, especially in Nigeria, against Christianity. And we know that President Trump actually dropped a bomb there on Christmas Day, because there were a belief of there was ISIS based there and a lot of torture of the Christians there. Just keep that in mind. World news, we're going to get for a hot second, Bill Gates and Albert Bourla, the CEO of Pfizer, will be required to testify in a Dutch court in 2026. The timing isn't exact yet. For 7 defendants who filed a suit claiming that the COVID-19 vaccine was a bioweapon. This is the first time they're going to have to speak in regards to the damages that are coming out regarding the vaccine. This is going to be very interesting, so stay tuned for that. That's what we have today.
Lisa, you're a champion, and I appreciate you so much. A little technical difficulty. I missed some of the things you're saying, but I did read the notes, and we'll be back right after this break to go over it again.
1.269.
Have you noticed your money just doesn't stretch like it used to? Your paycheck feels lighter, and your savings aren't growing. The culprits? Inflation and increased money supply. They've both been quietly eating away at your purchasing power for years. Today, the dollar's value has dropped significantly. You feel it every time you spend money on goods and services. Back in 1965, $1 or an ounce of silver could buy you a gallon of milk. Fast forward to today. That same dollar barely buys a couple of coffee creamers, while an ounce of silver would get you 8 gallons of milk. Gold and silver have held their value for centuries. If you had 2,500 ounces of silver back in 1965, you could buy a brand new Ford Mustang. Today, 2,500 ounces of silver would buy you 2 Mustangs. Similarly, in the year 2000, 628 ounces of gold would buy a new $170,000 home. Today, 628 ounces would buy you a $2,500,000 home. The problem? 95% of Americans don't own physical gold or silver. They think it's too complicated and too expensive, but it doesn't have to be. We offer a membership program that allows you to buy gold or silver with as little as $1. You can buy fractional amounts, safely vault them, or have them delivered to your doorstep, and you can liquidate them whenever you want at the highest buyback price in the industry. Ready to protect your wealth and keep your purchasing power? Scan the QR code or go to tafw.soundmoney.com to learn more.
All right, live from Studio 6B on a Friday night, live at the American America First Warehouse. Live at the America First Warehouse on a Friday, Real America's Voice, all across the country, 103.9 LI News Radio, all across your radio, Suffolk County, Long Island. Glad you're in.
It's me, Joe the Box, and I'm John the Blanket with the America First podcast.
That's what I'm talking about. The Fred Rubino podcast coming to you from the America First Warehouse.
Welcome to Right for America. Issues that unite, don't ignite.
I'm James Justice. We got Stephen Ruth over here. What are we doing, Steve? Fighting!
Welcome to the Patriots Podcast. Good evening, everyone. We live stream every Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m. right here from the America First Warehouse, the most patriotic venue in all the land.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the On the Right Side podcast here at the America First Warehouse in Long Island, New York.
Welcome to Liberty's Cage, the podcast tearing down the walls of America's broken justice system.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Downey Jr. podcast. Be free, stay free.
Welcome to Suffocating in Suburbia with me, your host, Stevie GB.
Wow, how blessed are we to have the many, many shows that come out of the America First Warehouse. Yes, we are shadow banded wherever we go, but it's not going to last for long. The America First media is all these podcasters and people that get together and share the truth, like Nick Shirley did in Minnesota, and like Rudy did, bringing out some of the truths and the many lies that the Democratic Party and the American government has put upon its people. But we're not going to take it anymore. Johnny had a great comment before the last segment about the mainstream media that they wouldn't even cover this. Where was their journalism? Where was their initiative to dig out this Minnesota fraud? If you can cue up that Nick Shirley, the amateur reporter that had reached over 100 million.
1.26 million. What was that money spent?
Ask about there aren't any kids.
Answer the question. Are there children? There's no children inside this building.
Potentially the largest fraud scandal in U.S. history is taking place in Minnesota, as literally billions of dollars have been funneled through Somali-ran fraudulent businesses. So much fraud, it could actually almost replace the entire GDP of Somalia. These fraudsters have worked hand in hand with the Minnesota government as they enabled billions of dollars to be given to fraudulent businesses underneath welfare purposes.
If that doesn't get your goat, if that doesn't get you angry, I don't know what will. Can you believe that, Lisa? You believe what we just saw with our own eyes, that our reporting and our media can't cover?
I mean, much applause to Nick Shirley doing this on his own time, his own dime, and chasing after these people. There was also one video in which a woman attempted to block him as he went to investigate yet another child daycare center, and she's screaming into the microphone system, "Don't let him in, he's ICE," which he's not, and trying to protect them. It makes no sense. But except for the fact that these people are all engaged in allowing this fraud to continue. Why taxpayers in that community aren't in a complete uproar and protesting, I've yet to understand.
Well, they are in an uproar, and they are protesting the fact that we're bringing it out to them. So apparently the people of Minnesota are okay with $19 billion being taken out of their pockets and given to the Somali government.
I don't know if anybody could be happy about that. I mean, I could be happy to see that this information came out that we would never see from our real news stations or supposedly. So I know Trump's working on cleaning that mess up because they really don't cover it at all. I'm happy to see that, just like the other guy with the bacon and the Koran. But this guy...
Jake Lang, the J6er, Johnny. He's going to be here at the warehouse.
This guy's videos aren't just one video. He's got a bunch of them are out there showing all these different things that are going on there. And for me, I got so much freaking angry because I know it's not only me. There's everybody in the United States that knows somebody or has somebody in their family that needs serious help. And they need the help. And you know what they're getting? Well, we can't get it because we really don't have the funds. Well, the funds aren't going to be there. Well, when they're stealing it all. So this is something that every American should be really angry about to see it. And I want to see it resolved fast.
Unless it's coming into their pocket, I don't think they're too angry about it. Because if you look at, like, I don't know what the lady was standing outside there going, "There, you get out of here, you're a racist, That's what they always go to. That's their go-to move.
They got 100 arrests.
I'm sick of it, man. I'm absolutely sick of it. And I'm going to fight every day the Lord gives me. Every day the Lord gives me to give me this platform, because he really has. This is not something that I planned on doing. You know why we got involved? Because they killed my brother's son. They brought the drugs over, the fentanyl. What a freaking... So now Trump is out there blowing them up. And I understand, Lisa, I didn't quite hear you. But can you go back to didn't Trump attack on land in Venezuela on Christmas Day?
Correct. So it's understood that it was actually the 26th on Christmas Day. They had dropped a bomb in Nigeria regarding an ISIS outfit. And an update to that, we just heard that ISIS retaliated against some Americans, and now the U.S. has just retaliated back. So there is an ongoing situation right now. However, regarding Venezuela, it turns out that Trump got, they got their intelligence honed in more on where are the boats coming from, where is the dock where they're loading the drugs exactly, instead of just waiting to blow these ships up, mid-sea. And they found the dock and it exploded the dock where the loading is taking place. So that happened, and Trump confirmed that yesterday.
Wow.
Well, I'm very happy to hear that, too. Yeah. So what you're saying is that, because I don't want to give fake news out, but what you're saying is that Trump has attacked or bombed some of the boat or the loading warehouses where the drugs are coming from.
Yeah, the docks.
Correct.
Hegseth says we know exactly where the docks are, and I believe they didn't act on it right away because there's a lot of civilians that work on the docks, and that's a popular terrorist operation. You mingle in people who are innocent so that it gives people like Israel and the United States who actually have morals, they don't want to get collateral damage. So they were holding back on it, but now the gloves are off. You can't be at the dock loading drugs. You're part of it. And he blew up one of the docks. And I believe at the docks there were like 10 speedboats that they were going to load with drugs. So it really makes a difference who your president is, because he's the one taking action.
He's amazing. What an amazing job he's doing. I even saw a video where they pulled the boat over and didn't blow it up. They pulled it over.
I'm against that. I'm against that.
They locked him. They arrested him, had him on the thing, and the boat was filled with all kinds of drugs. But
and now there's dolphins. Dolphins have a really big cocaine problem, I hear. That blowhole is really they need a straw. They put a straw in the blowhole now.
Well, what it does, it helps them with the pain of swimming into the windmills out there in the water.
Good point. Very good point. I love that.
Which is another thing, Lisa. I didn't see this on your headlines, but I do believe that Trump stopped all the windmill contracts.
Okay, yes. So that did happen actually, especially on Long Island. There was negotiations because there was supposed to be a huge influx of the windmills here with, and I can't recall the name now, but we did discuss this topic probably about 2 months ago on the show. And he put an end to that there. There was some negotiations to increase fuel and oil again and reserve to that. There's a lot of misconception about fossil fuels, and so they're using that as things that kind of, they're carbon releasers, they damage the earth, but truth be told, that's not really the case. A matter of fact, many of these windmills, all of them, and other electric car stations all actually use fuel to provide energy to the windmills and the charging stations. So there's really a very deceitful lie going on, and so the windmills do cause more damage when they break down and fall apart. These humongous pieces are dumped into landfills, and they do not decompose. They cause more issues for the environment and wildlife. So, yep, Trump put an end to that too. There are some that may be coming, but a great difference.
I wonder what they ever powered. What did they actually power for us?
There's no information on it.
I've seen them upstate on the way to Villa Roma. I seen them up there.
I've been an electrician for 38 years. There is no information on exactly how much a windmill produces. No information. Yet we poured billions of dollars saying it is our salvation. It's a windmill.
Just like the train in California, all that money for nothing.
Could you imagine? You're a liberal. You could be told anything. You could be told that a man can have a baby. Wow. You could be told that from the 1400s, a windmill is new technology. It is the oldest technology on earth. And so these people could be told anything and run with it. MAGA and conservatives, we look into it. That's what the difference is. We're not sheep.
Well, we're finally doing something about it, so you hear us all complaining, talking about it, making jokes about it, because it is pretty disgusting how we got it to where it's at now, you know. I don't know. I watch a little Landmail. I like Landman, and they have the windmills, and they didn't have nothing nice to say about them. It's gas and oil is where we're going to be. That's what's going to make the country strong and great.
Isn't it funny how Hollywood kind of creates these national problems? We see it on the movies. We saw Contagion was a movie about the pandemic coming about a year before the pandemic came. What are they all in cahoots with each other? As a matter of fact, I'm going to say that they are. I believe, and this is true, Johnny and I will be down on January 6th, down in Washington, D.C. We're going to do the march with Mickey Whithoff, Nicole Reffett, Tammy Perryman, the people that are at the house praying every night for the J6 prisoners. J6 prisoners have been let out. We run Liberty's Cage out of here. Shane Jenkins and Sarah Maccabee are the hosts of this great show, bringing awareness to the J6s, because what a lie that was. I mean, the list of lies is almost hard to comprehend. And yet, Freddie, you're absolutely right. These crazy liberals, they believe it. KDJ, get your ass right here in this chair.
They don't stop. It's nonstop and nonstop lies or no giving that information on the news, not telling the truths. I don't know. It's got to stop, you know. Otherwise, you have to.
Right. In regards to that, exactly what we talked about in the headlines is that I cannot believe, and I'm sure the audience agrees, like how long have we waited to learn more about the COVID-19 situation? And so now, finally, a Dutch court, after Bill Gates tried very hard to get this dismissed, this lawsuit comes from 2023, and the Dutch court is The Dutch court is finally going to hear it in 2026. These 7 defendants are claiming that it was a bioweapon. And as a matter of fact, one of the defendants has already passed away from complications from the vaccine. This is going to be very interesting. The judge has ordered that the case be heard. And more so, the prime minister at the time that the COVID-19 vaccine was distributed now holds a seat on the NATO board.
Welcome to the stage, KDJ. You can see that clock. You got 30 seconds. Get your word in. You got 30 seconds to bring us to commercial.
All right, folks. We're talking about the vaccines now and how they are meant to cull the herd. It's all part of the plan, baby. I know. I am still uneducated and unvaccinated. I've never felt better in my life. I have never felt better. I've never regretted not getting it. And man, oh man, it's going to take more than a bunch of bad hysteria to get me to take your shot, you globalist pinkos.
How many people have felt for that? How many people fall for the mask? I got a great story when we come back. Very similar. Wake up, America.
You've worked hard and saved.
Do we have one more segment left or two?
Two.
You've worked hard and saved, but inflation and increased money supply are eroding your buying power. Protect and grow your wealth with physical gold and silver. Sound Money. With a Sound Money wallet, your wealth stays in your control. Buy fractionally, vault securely, ship directly, and instantly liquidate your gold and silver at the highest buyback price in the industry. Real money, real ownership. Visit tafwsoundmoney.info or scan the QR code and start securing your financial future today.
The America First Ultra MAGA Store. For all your MAGA needs. We sell t-shirts, tumblers, flags, hats, sneakers, bumper stickers, and a whole lot more. The most patriotic America First retail store. The America First Ultra MAGA Store.
All right, live from Studio 6B on a Friday night, live at the America First Warehouse. voice all across the country, 103.9 LI News Radio, all across your radio, Suffolk County, Long Island. Glad you're in.
Corporate transfer. Find professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
America First Warehouse was really the most patriotic venue that you can ever imagine. We wanted to build something for people to be able to come to and feel so comfortable and so relaxed, because there is nothing out there like it. We give an opportunity for people to really feel good about themselves and about this great country. We are back here at the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land. I feel like after I had experienced a couple of issues in my life, how blessed and grateful I am that I can continue this path God has let me. Behind me, you see a beautiful picture of my wife and I. That's the 1776 series from Chelsea Carroll. The artwork around this place is out of control. The friends and relationships that we've developed over the years can only be done through the grace of God. And we were talking about the windmills before, and I want to give some credit to Scott Lebedo, the Maniac artist who's out there, because he asked me to come down to one of his rallies, and I thought it was America First, but I went down there. He had all these dead whales, like stuffed whales with blood all over them, all over the floor. And I'm like, Scotty, what are you trying to do? He goes, Joe, it's the windmills. They're destroying us. So congratulations, because Lisa, you brought this to my attention. They were trying to build windmills off the coast of Staten Island, coming into the New York Harbor, and I believe that it's all over now. So congratulations. That's an environmental, right, Lisa?
It is. Definitely a serious environmental issue. There's been no proven benefit from the windmills, so except for the fact that they do cause a lot of harm, and it's really a misconception that they provide more clean energy, when in fact they use an abundance of fuel to maintain their energy. But on that note, talking about energy, if my co-hosts recall that we discussed Apple having a settlement of $95 million because it was revealed that Siri was indeed listening to conversations. So along this technology line with the windmills, the things they're doing to the earth, we also have on a personal and individual level these technology companies that are interfering with our privacy and more so acting in a manner that tries to find out and learn more about our behaviors, which is frightening when we don't know what they're going to do with it. Here's the latest, guys. Are you ready for this?
Tell us.
Apple there's now been revealed a patent that passed. It was submitted in 2023. The patent has now passed. That Apple is creating earbuds that will read your brain waves, that will read your skin energy, that will read your heart and feed all that information back to Apple. So if we thought them listening to us through Siri was bad enough, it's about to get a whole lot worse.
Well, it reminds me of that time when you were telling us about the pictures at the airport that you could opt out of it. It's the same thing. They're collecting information on us. KDJ, they got your face blasted all over the place, allegedly, down in J6. Is that true?
Now, allegedly, I could show you some photographs that were not taken by me. No one was aiming a camera at me, or I probably would have noticed. And yet there I am, allegedly. Now, I was at a rally in Albany, and I saw a guy dressed as plain as could be, khakis, brown jacket. You wouldn't think about him. Everywhere. So I think I'm on a couple of lists. Yeah, they're watching us. And you know what I hate, Lisa? The people say, well, if you got nothing to hide, why do you care if you're on camera all the time? To that I say, give me your phone. Let me go through it. If you've got nothing to hide, let me go through it. How do you feel about that? No, you're not going through my... Oh, so you do like privacy. Well, isn't that charming? Exactly. And there's going to come a point. Look at China. You can't go from your apartment to the grocery store and back without hitting 5, 10, maybe 15 cameras. Everything you do, door to door and floor to floor, you are being watched.
You know, roast my chestnuts more than an open fire.
Whoa! Whoa! That was great.
Is that it goes so fast, and you're so fast to have everybody locked up, arrested, and justice was quick, and now we're waiting for justice the other way. Why is it taking so freaking?
Good
that
point,
roast my
Johnny.
chestnuts on an open fire.
You know what burns my ass? A midget smoking a cigar.
Is it good?
Let me
Behind you.
Let me tell you something. They did it already during COVID. There was a part of your phone that would tell you if there was someone near you with COVID. It was a special...
Really?
Yes, and you had to deactivate it. I didn't even know it was on my phone, and I wasn't vaccinated, so I must have been listed as that. And so I had to deactivate it on my phone, saying that you don't have the right to monitor my COVID interactions. It's happening. It's happening in every part of our technology.
And how disgraceful it is that they just suck everybody into it. And I'm going to give you my example, because after I got my TDS attacked, I had separated my shoulder, and it wound up fracturing the shoulder. I'm in a lot of pain, like constantly over it. But when I went in there, the first thing that they asked me, did you get your COVID vaccine? Would you like one?
Or more shocked that you didn't get one?
Yeah.
You know, how blessed are we? Because we didn't have to. We have our own business, so there was no forcing it. We were around vaccination all the time. We could have gone
They were forcing it. Many people, the government, teachers' unions, all of these different
military.
You had to get it. You couldn't work. My kid couldn't go to school, or my wife couldn't visit her mother.
It was a worldwide conspiracy, no doubt about it. I can tell you, when I was in Florida, I was told by a guy who worked in the local hospital, he was one of the head surgeons. He was telling us every morning at coffee that the hospital was at capacity, that there were cots in the hallways, they were being overrun, and it's these unvaccinated people who are costing us lives. 2 weeks later, I got COVID. I had to be hospitalized. I went to the hospital.
No kidding.
I went to the hospital. I was the only one without a fever. Everyone was vaccinated, had 104 or 5 fever. I didn't have a fever. I just passed out from it. So I get there. The hospital was empty. There wasn't. I had 5 rooms to pick from, and I said to myself, even the head surgeon was schooled to spread this misinformation on the streets of our town. It was pumped into every aspect, and if you didn't do it, you were going to lose your job. So I can't even blame them.
You know what else got me mad too? When I went to that doctor, they hand me a mask. They go, put a mask on. And I look, and there's a sign, mask is no longer required. So I said, why do you want it? She goes, well, I'd feel better. I go, I'd feel better if you took yours off. Then I could see your face.
Right. Take your top off.
It came on so fast.
Johnny, take your top off.
So fast, you know, and now it's taking forever to rectify it. We know it was all a lie. You know, they still offering the COVID shot. Why? You know, I think I had COVID once. I didn't go to any hospital, but I was at the time there was a 10-day max. You know, take the time off from work thing. So it worked out good for me.
Johnny, if it's not jury duty, it's a COVID vaccination.
I got a lot of stuff done around the house.
10 days off, and he's self-employed.
And then the next week it dropped to 5 days, so nobody can take more than 5 days the next week.
Who do you work for? Myself.
Yeah, well, it was good being self-employed. We didn't have that. I didn't force that on anybody. It wasn't a requirement on my side, and I was kind of grateful about it.
Did all of government and military get reimbursed for their lost wages and stuff like that?
I think it's on the way.
Yeah, I think it's happening. I think it's happening. It's been decided it will happen. But it's government. Even though Trump's government's always going to be government. It moves like a snail.
$1,700 bonus for all our military. Thank you, President.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
You know what I want? You know what I want to throw in, boys and Lisa? By April of 2022, there were more vaccinated people dying of or with COVID than non-vaccinated, and that didn't get out in the way it should have. But that's not a lie. You can look that up. April of 2022, more vaccinated people dying. And remember, Rachel Madcow, if you get it, stupid Trumpers, get the shot, and then this will all be gone away. But no, you won't do it. But here's what I don't get. Number one, if this guy's vaccinated and I'm not, and he can't get it, I'm not a threat. Number two, why did Joe Biden let 20 million unvaccinated people over the border? It was obviously a scam from the beginning. We all saw it, except for the blue-haired Gorgons, because they thought they were being better people by getting shot full of whatever that crap was.
And they incentivized the hospitals. They said, if you die of COVID, we give you a big check. So people had cancer, stage 5 cancer, died. Oh, he had COVID too. It's time to go back to those hospitals and get that money back.
Yep.
You cooked the books. The hospitals did just like the Somalians did. They cooked the books and took federal money that didn't belong to them. It's time to get the money back from the hospitals.
There was a lot of preparation into what they did, the hospitals, to be prepared for this nightmare COVID-19, and it came out to be false. But they still set up places. The Javits Center had a couple hundred beds.
Yep.
I know the hospital built all kinds of outlets for it too. So there was money spent on it. Do I believe it was all for the good? No, I think everything's corrupt. I think there's more fraud in everything that we see more and more every day. And it's going to take independent journalists like the bacon slapping guy and the other guy too. I love it. Love it.
Now, say what you want about social media, and there's a lot of bad things about it, but when our freedom of press collapsed in this country, where Joe Biden was as sharp as anything, and if you get the shot, you stop the spread, that social media has come forward and exposed the worst corruption in American history.
Yep.
So there is always if it could be used for good, that's always good. It's when people use it for bad, that's when it's bad. But thank God for social media. It exposed this.
Why do these people all congregate in the major metropolitan markets? Why is every city so out of their mind? Why are we letting this happen?
Pick me.
Because of Kevin.
Seconds.
Pick me.
Because Democrats have been running the big blue toilet towns for generations. Detroit, they've had a Democrat mayor since 1962. Baltimore since 1967. St. Louis since 1949. I memorize these because I like to fight with bozos online who don't know what they're talking about. Milwaukee, I think 1908. It's sick. But this is all on purpose. The destruction of our big cities was always on purpose.
It's a terrible time. It's still a great time to be an American. Lisa, we got 3 seconds. We're going to open up next segment with you. I promise.
Most people think they have options when searching for the best deals when they travel. But here's the shocking truth. 100% of the major travel agencies are owned by just 2 entities, Expedia and Booking Holdings. They claim to offer the lowest rates, but due to the hotel rate parity agreement, they all have the same pricing, limiting genuine competition. When you book through these sites, you act as your own travel agent, but the profits are going to organizations that don't support our patriot values. We cannot allow that to continue. So, we decided to make travel great again by starting a US-based travel membership platform, mypatriottravel.com. We are patriots helping patriots. Together, we can disrupt the travel industry by not spending our hard-earned dollars supporting the radical left. For just $29.99 per month, you gain access to true wholesale rates on travel, saving you on average 35% and up to 65%. Book as often as you like, with no limits. Keep your hard-earned dollars in your pocket and spend them on things you need and want to support. Go to mypatriottravel.com/TAFW and grab your membership today. mypatriottravel.com/TAFW, making travel great again.
Hey, fellow patriots, it's Cindy Gross here, host of Right for America from your favorite place, the America First Warehouse. You've seen me show on my show so many products from this country's #1 most patriotic manufacturer with close to 400 products. You need to exchange the products you use in your house to this company and make your dollars count in our country.
I'm sure you guys remember the platinum single Justice for All with Donald Trump and the J6 Prison Choir. We'll get ready for round 2. We're coming out with Anthem of the Free with High Res and the J6 Prison Choir. It's coming out now. It's pre-sale until December 19th when it drops. Get yours on all platforms, Google Play, Apple iTunes. Get it. It's going to be hot.
Justice for all, our voices ring. The anthem of the free.
It's me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
The America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see, a symbol of unity. For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free. In the America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
It's a little cold, but I do feel like taking that bike out for a ride. If my shoulder didn't hurt so much.
Terrible.
Lisa, we ended up with you. We were talking about so many different things, but you had something on your mind. I'd like you to share it with us and get this last segment going.
Thank you, Joe. So the thing we were discussing was why does this seem to be happening in the cities, right? You can have a blue state, for example, we look at New York, 62 counties, and basically the counties within the city, the 5 boroughs, except for Staten Island, standing strong, got to give them a shout out, is the fact that they are Democrat run, even in the most red states. So overall, there's only 13 counties that are predominantly blue and pull in the votes and the most populated. But I want to make a biblical reference here. We know that we praise God, and I want to say that in Genesis 4:17, who was the first person to create a city? Cain. After murdering his brother and being exiled, he went on to start a family and build the first city known. And that's kind of an interesting way to look at it through that lens, is that the first city that came out was by someone who committed a mortal sin. And so we see that our cities in relation often have high crime and a lot of immoral issues that take place. And it's just an interesting connection. I wanted to bring that up, which brings us to the incoming mayor. New York City is about to induce the Zohran Mamdani, a Democrat socialist. I started when I speak of it. I cannot believe that one of the most prominent cities in the world is about to have a Democrat socialist for mayor. And one of his controversial picks have just been making the news very lightly, and more so on our show and shows like ours. So I want to just make a reference to a more recent pick, Julie Su. We've talked about some of the others, but Julie Su is on Focus today. She will be the deputy mayor for economic justice. Her background, she had a contentious nomination as labor secretary under Biden, and she faced significant opposition because she had very progressive views during the COVID-19 pandemic, which included fraud concerns. So here we go, guys. The whole cycle of this show, we see it coming back again and again and again, whether it's fraud, bioweapons, and definitely these controversial people in power. It's a problem in our cities especially.
I'm going to tell you, I almost don't even want to go into the city. My kids are talking, they're going to go see a show. I go, what are you talking about? Who wants to do something like that? Why would you want to put your life in danger? Because that's what you're actually doing. And the cities are filled with non-citizen Americans. They're not Americans. They're illegal immigrants. The city's full. The Adams guy brought in 80,000, put them all up at the beautiful Roosevelt Hotel. I used to stay at that place, man. I remember. It's right in the center of New York City. That's by Grand Central Station. I did
Beautiful, beautiful place.
It used to be a beautiful place, but no more.
And so now they get money for bringing in immigrants. So They found out the Democratic Party is just one big money grab. And whenever they could go from one money grab to the next, they're all behind it. So when it came to opening borders and they said, listen, we could get billions to house these people and to feed them, they let them all in. More than half of the money's been robbed. Nobody got anything. So when that ends, they start something else. They start the green movement, or they start some other free groceries, you know, so it's just a big money grab. That's all it is.
Can I tell you, boys? You guys will know, and I know, folks, if you're not from New York City, this won't make sense, but I'm at a comedy club, and I'm on 1st Ave and 60th Street, right off of the 59th Street Bridge. In my lifetime, it's never been a bad neighborhood. It's always been nice. A lot of bars on 2nd Avenue. In
fact, it's upscale.
Is it Scores right there? Not that I know. I heard.
I heard about that place.
I'm standing on the corner, and I see 3 signs. Beware. Pickpockets, scammers, hold your pocketbooks, hold your phones, on little signs all over. You never would have seen that 10 years ago, maybe even 8 years ago. Now, and that's someone just put that up. It's not from the cops. That's someone who lives in the neighborhood said, everyone be careful. That neighborhood was never like that, all right? In the 90s, before Giuliani, 2,200 murders a year. I was living in the city. I was living in Manhattan. It was a toilet. And then he made it great again. And even though I'm not a big Bloomberg fan, he left it in great shape. But along comes Comrade de Blasio.
Yeah.
And that was the end. And now we're going to see the death of New York City, or the near death. I hope it, and I pray it comes back.
Because Bloomberg couldn't be bribed because he's a billionaire.
Yep.
Giuliani was a true patriot,
Yep.
and he was hell-bent on doing good. When you get somebody who's not a patriot
Yep.
or is broke, corruption is right around the corner.
Yep.
What we need is a lot of Americans to wake up, because I think our system is all bent out of shape with the voting, because if you're not a citizen, you really shouldn't be voting, but there's so many illegals that are voting, and the only way it's going to change is the way that Trump got in there, make it too big to rig. I don't know how we can straighten it out, but if there's illegal voting going on, what chance do those blue cities have?
Yeah.
They deserve everything they
Dude,
get.
they brought in 20 million people under Joe Biden. Look at the picture behind Johnny's head over there. You got Scott LeBedo captured the looks of Joe Biden and his regime. They didn't care, and they still don't care about you or me.
But that's how they get the power. They get elected in, but they get elected in fraudulently, you know. Or what do we got? Like I said, too big to rig. I don't know what's going to wake all these people up, man. It's tough.
You know what, let me ask you boys and Lisa as well. Let's say Minnesota. Everything is fraudulent. Everywhere you go, it's fraud, fraud, fraud. What are the odds the elections are not also fraudulent? What are the odds? I think
The
they're
one thing that's
the one.
honest
Cashie's
is
got
them
80%
getting elected
true
again
on that.
to
Yeah.
steal.
What really gets me is that I don't really believe that then maybe New York City and the other blue cities, they're not doing that too, are they?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You can get them to believe anything.
Yep.
Everything is rigged and fraud except the election that elected me to steal your money.
Yeah.
Do you think that? I mean, honestly, if you were just to take the votes of American citizens, people that may be served, people that wake up every day and love God and their family and are true Americans, not these liberal, crazy ones that go out of their way to stand in front of ICE agents. I can't even figure that one out. But if you were to take the votes, and tell me if I'm wrong on this one, of the American citizens, don't you think that 80 to 90% of it would want to make America great again?
Of course, because we have our own interests in mind. My own interest is to not be broke, homeless, and to have my children be able to walk the streets without being murdered by an illegal. So, of course, everybody's on board. But this is their propaganda.
Yep.
They're trying to convince people that it's better off being broke and in danger.
Well, we're stuck because they rig it. You know, look at California too. They tried to do something with changing the map of the thing, and that's mostly a Republican state, California. But the way that things are laid out in the areas that are illegals voting are the ones that are taking over. You know what I mean? They can't have their vote.
100%. And I don't know if you guys saw what's happening in Bangladesh recently. So, you know how...
Nothing.
They're being taken over by Islamo communists. And how did it start? Well, a handful of students started a riot, which comes from the 45 goals of communism. Get the students to foment. That means to provoke a riot. When it gets good and cooking, the communists swoop in and say, get out, we'll take it from here. And less than a year later, Bangladesh right now is falling to communism.
Both buildings.
We're not going to
are
let
under
that
siege.
happen here in our country. We're not going to let that happen.
It already is happening, Johnny boy. Look at Ilhan Omar. She won her district because Barack Hussein Obama, brought in the whole Somalian town and planted them in Minnesota. So she wins. Because all of her Somali friends. Now, what really gets me, and Lisa, you can comment on this. We got 3 minutes. I want everybody to get a word in on this one. So Ilhan Omar runs for office. She wins, and in 1 year, she made $30 million. She's got to be the smartest Somali I've ever met or seen.
What does she do? Run a daycare on the side or something?
You know what? There's no more free press. When Barack Obama ran for president, his brother in Kenya came out with his birth certificate and says, I have his birth certificate. He was born in Kenya. That's where it all started. Then Hillary Clinton said, hey, this should be investigated. And everybody shut up. Trump, some woman came out and says, 10 years ago, I don't even remember where it was or when it was, he groped me. Let's investigate. You don't want to investigate, at least.
Well, they changed the statute of limitations on that, too, because she brought this out from 20 years ago that she was groped. And they said, well, and Kathy Hochul just extended that law until it just covered for Trump to get in trouble over it.
And no one's
She's not going to get a dime, no. She's not getting nothing from
No one
She got a couple of $80 million already.
You know, and the thing of it is, the whole thing we're arguing about here is our the mainstream channels 1 through 24, and they don't have nothing to say. They say a lie and they tell us like no repercussion for it because they're allowed to say that. Just like Adam Schiff in Congress can say lies and he's protected. We got to change that. We can't have that. It's Carrie Lake, I think, isn't she?
Listen, I'm getting so upset about this. I really want to just tone it down a little bit. So I'm going to ask our friend Lisa. We got 1 minute and 30 seconds. I know you got good news that's happening here in the country. Can you give us some good news? Give us something to be happy about.
Listen, we are approaching New Year, 2026, and there are many things that we can stay positive on. We know that Secretary Kennedy is doing tremendous work in making America healthy again. We know that President Trump is initiating new grants to build back America's business. And we're going to build back better, the truth this time, and not like past. And he is offering all of these grants to build a new education workforce and more businesses in America. So these are great things that we do have to look forward to, and I think that 2026 is promising as far as these cases are concerned. I do believe that more is going to come out as the fraud is being unveiled. We would have never seen this under another administration, and that fraud really tells us a lot about how the Democrat Party has been funding itself, and we find that lobbyists are involved in this as well. So as all of that comes out, we just have to stay faithful and hope that these people will definitely be held accountable to some extent, because without accountability, we know that the cycle will just continue to go on. So as we move into 2026, I want to wish all of the America First Podcast team and audience, our faithful membership, a very happy and healthy New Year.
God bless you, Lisa. We got 6 seconds left. Look at this. My friend who used to work with me, his name is Aaron, Uplift Arts. He gave me this great chain. America First.
God bless America.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.